Hi everyone, my name is Ozmourn. I hope you all are having a wonderful night. Welcome back to the GDQ Hotfix. Big shout outs to QD for that wonderful run of Perilous Pads. Or the show of Perilous Paths, I should say. My apologies. But we are here with another episode of the Scenic Route. If you are tuning in to this show for the first time, the Scenic Route is all about runs with little to no glitches in them, or glitchless NMG runs, and some runs just naturally have little to no glitches in them. Your standards, any percent runs might have little to no glitches in them, and those kinds of runs are just as valid for this show as well. We're going to be seeing some of that as well in this episode. But with that being said, we have a wonderful lineup. The theme of this episode today is 2D platformers. We have Mega Man X. We have Super Fancy Pants Adventures, Super Mario Bros., which just have a glitchless run, and Super Mario Bros. 3 to wrap out the night here. Before we begin, I just wanted to say a brief announcement here, and that is an announcement about Back to Black. GDQ's all-black charity speedrunning event is supporting Race Forward and goes live from February 5th to 8th, and it is currently accepting run and volunteer submissions. Submit your runs at gdq.gg/submit for more information about the event. You can also visit gdq.gg/BAF. And of course, we also have the Disability and Neurodivergent Special, which has submissions open currently. GDQ is hosting its very first Disability and Neurodivergent Special on November 29th and 30th. The event will celebrate speedrunners who identify as disabled or neurodivergent in any way that is meaningful to them. If you'd like to apply to run, applications are open through November 9th, that is the end of this week, and type !DND in the chat for the link to apply. So there's lots of things, lots of communities that we would like to focus on here on the GDQ Hotfix, stuff that you can submit to right now. But with that being said, we're going to get into our first run of the night, and that is Mega Man X by Atitri. I am so excited for this, so please, Atitri, take it away.
Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Wait. How did I get here? Why is this controller in my hands? I'm on the wrong side of the screen. Someone help.
It's not out of the box today.
No, I don't even go here, but this is a great show. Thank you so much for having me, Ozmourn. My name is Atitri. You may know me as the showrunner of Out of the Box every other Wednesday, including this Wednesday. But today we're doing something a little bit different. I am not Carrie Carrarium. If you were checking in, looking at the schedule, we did have Celeste scheduled earlier, but Carrie is not feeling well today, so Ozmourn tagged me in and threw me into the ring, and here I am ready to show off what is thankfully a very beginner-friendly version of the Mega Man X route, because that's where I'm at in this process. I actually learned this game to show off for another event that Ozmourn asked me to run in. So this is what is called the waterless version of the 100% route. There is a water full, which is like full playing as intended, taking the levels in a certain route so that you do all of the intended mechanics. We're just going to do that a tiny little bit differently because I want to show off some cool higher skill floor tricks. But there are very little things that would count as glitches in this run. We might see one tiny little one that's a neat visual glitch. But beyond that, it's time to get started with some Rockman X or Mega Man X. We are playing the Japanese version because it does allow us to do one minor glitch later in the run that saves about 11 seconds, if I'm not mistaken. With that said, let's get started in 3, 2, 1, let's rock.
Good luck and have fun.
That's not even the first time I've done that. I did that the other time I ran for you because the start screen takes exactly 3 seconds when you let it go. Anyways, Central Highway, Mega Man X, the first game in the series to start with its own separate intro level rather than dropping you right off into the action, showing off a lot of mechanics, giving you an idea of like, hey, here's how this game plays similarly or differently from other Mega Man games. One of the big things that you're seeing here for the purposes of the speedrun is that hitboxes are kind of more suggestion-like. We can hit a lot of these flying bots from below, and we will be doing that regularly with charge shots throughout the run. Get a good pattern from our wasp friend here so we can get over behind it and fire just as quickly as possible. You want as few shots wasted there as you can. In part because you can only have 3 lemons or uncharged shots on the screen at once, and in part because The closer you are to the enemy, the more you can fire, the faster you can DPS them down. We also want to make sure they don't get the opportunity to spawn the little walker mechs, because a really big theme of Mega Man X is this game pushed the SNES, especially in the early 90s or the mid 90s here, to its limits. Anything that makes something happen on screen counts towards an overall sprite limit of what the SNES can show, and frequently we will bump into that limit face first.
We love to see that. One thing that I am curious about this run is that, like, part of the scenic route here is that, the appeal of glitchless runs for a lot of people when they want to learn them is that it might be less intimidating than like a run that has a lot of glitches. Do you think that this run speaks true to that sentiment, or might be more beginner friendly than, like, say, another type of run that might be pretty glitch heavy?
The run itself is as easy or as difficult as you want to make it. Like I mentioned, there is a route called Waterful, where you play the levels fully as intended using all the additional mechanics. I'll describe the one skip we're doing when we get closer to it. We were hoping for the wing of the plane to be a little closer on screen, because now it has to pull back in our way. But yeah, broadly speaking, this is a game that allows for a lot of player expression, which is why it's been so popular for so long. You can move through most any screen in the game. Not that it's really a screen-based sort of affair. That's more classic Mega Man, which I guess this also is, but this is classic Mega Man Part 2. But yeah, there are just so many ways to attack any problem in the game. So you can take them, like what I did, honestly, in getting prepared for the mutual aid event that you asked me to run for, was I threw a couple of runs at the game following some general guides, and then I started watching other people's VODs whose times were a few minutes faster than me. And I just picked up tips here and there. And so I just slowly refined what I was able to do. And each time I hit a plateau, I'm like, all right, I should probably pick up one of the 5 or 6 big tricks I know exist, and just took it from there.
Nice. That's a really nice. I feel like that's a very nice testament as to how certain runs are as easy as or hard as you want them to be. And honestly, I do love runs where you can approach them at your own pace, because there are certain runs that are if you want a decent time, you have to learn pretty difficult tricks for. And not to say that it takes away from any difficulty of any type of run, but still it can be much more intimidating for folks to learn those types of runs versus something that they can kind of take at their own pace, which I think is a huge appeal as to why a show like this works, personally.
Yeah, definitely. In many ways, you're asking people to do what they're already inclined to do with their speedruns, which is, I don't think that most people necessarily play games looking to find enormous amounts of glitches. There are tiny little unintended mechanics like we were trying to make use of here. We'll get one more shot. That one worked. Which is to say that X has a mechanic where when walking back down upward-facing slopes, if you jump off right at kind of the spine where that happens, you get some extra height and distance. So we manipulated the way we move to get to the capsule here with the leg upgrade just a little bit faster. And now we are at the point where the real Mega Man X starts, now that we have the dash boots. I would absolutely agree with the chatter who says that X is quite easy to learn as long as you learn some of the basic mechanics and strategies, one of which is don't get hit, which we didn't follow just there, but when you are trying to juggle multiple responsibilities, that sort of thing will happen. Speaking of which, if chat wants to ask questions or other things, one of the things that I feel like Carrie Carreria might have offered that I would like to do the same is we were both members of the Games Committee for Games Done Queer, which just finished this last weekend, raising over $50,000 for the Lambda Legal Defense Fund. And if you have any questions about what that was like for us, anything else you'd like to know about the event that I can reasonably answer, please feel free to ask.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to get into that myself because I know that, of course, big shout out to everyone that was working on GD Queer, T3 being on the Games Committee, Carreria, I'm also on the Games Committee, as you mentioned. And of course, our producer, Relkan, being the event lead that is also working the show tonight. And I just wanted to ask you, how generally do you feel about the event now, as kind of a sort of a post-mortem with having raised $51,000 for Lambda Legal?
I mean, what adjectives do you want me to start with? It was genuinely incredible. As good as we could have possibly hoped for it to go in terms of end result, in terms of how much people enjoyed themselves. All of the above. Unfortunately, Mr. Icy Penguigo, you are using my spot. We want to finish each boss as close to the center of the screen as we can, so That'll have to do because X does need to walk to the center to be able to leave each stage at the end. Sorry, you were about to start a question.
No, I mean, I was just going to say, like, I feel like so much of the event was like just people loving the general vibe of it. Like I feel like this event has already given like a huge staple in GDQ culture with like emotes being done in chat, a very new mascot, and just generally the way people talk about the event now that it's all over and now that everything is said and done. And with having such a huge impact and like raising what I feel like was more money than I think anyone could have ever expected for Lambda Legal. And I definitely feel like GDQ has kind of embedded itself in GDQ culture as a whole already.
That's certainly the hope. I mean, it got great buy-in from the staff members and other community volunteers who chose to work on it. All the great things like the emotes and the other things that people were able to latch onto. A lot of that came from our resident artist LLK, so enormous shout-outs to her. And also Railkun and other members of the team for encouraging a lot of those very, very silly ideas. That's not where we wanted to be. Neither is that. Anyways, yeah, to answer your question in a more substantive way, like I feel really good about it, obviously, but I tried to, actually we're not going to defeat this guy because that, of course, starts an animation, which is much, much slower. I'm trying to juggle more things than I expected to here, which is funny because it's my own fault for bringing this up so early. Yeah, we're just going to take these one at a time then. But yeah, you know, it was so meaningful to many members of the community before we even started the event. And that's one of the biggest things you can say about it, I think. It shows how much an event like this was needed. We could have put on, you know, the ding animation for 36 hours, and I think most of chat would have eaten that up. But the fact that we got so many submissions from extremely passionate community members, like really showcasing why they care about the games they love, why they think they would make great speedruns, why they're parables for their own life stories. Some of the things that people put into the runs were like, hey, this isn't even about the run, but your story and the story of your run and how you came into this community just have such great like synecdoche with one another. That's am I using that word right? Somebody go look me up. But like those kinds of stories were the things we knew we wanted to amplify. By the way, don't keep a charge beam going into this because that slows that animation down more. That's a free little optimization tip for you, along with one where if you are holding a button when you start a stage, the screen intro will go faster.
Yes, we are in fact doing a speedrun. Remember, you always have to keep those tips in mind.
Yeah, please pull me questions out of the chat. I know lots of people were asking them. I got a chance to glance over at them, but my attention is a little elsewhere right now. So go ahead.
No, yeah. Well, do you have a personal favorite run from GDQ by any chance? Anything that you'd recommend people go check out right now with our YouTube thoughts?
YouTube uploads, I think, are still just finishing up, maybe. But gosh, some of our favorite runs, the runs that everybody on Games Committee wanted to make sure got in, included Elite Beat Agents from Lore Master Motos. They submitted both of the Oendon games and Elite Beat Agents, so if you know the Enos Rhythm games, you know how incredibly cool that is. We ended up taking Elite Beat Agents because that's American rock songs and what we imagined the people wanted to hear. But that was a really easy pick for all of us. There were some ones that like one person kind of took possession of. Like I would say I was the primary proponent for the likes of Window Kill from the Silly Block, featuring a runner from Japan. So that was a really cool opportunity. And Ridge Racer Type 4 from a runner known as 1 second. Okay, good. It is very easy to fall down there, and then you have no recovery until you restart the stage. From a runner known as Laura Petal, who I think had like maybe 0 marathon appearances to her name, but did an absolutely fantastic job with the submission video. Had the Namco Neji-Con, which is the ideal way to play that game. So we got to show the audience that with a hand cam, some very, very cool things. So a lot of those things that are more in left field or from left field were the things that I really enjoyed getting to show off.
Those are all amazing runs. I know that like some of my personal favorite runs were Kiosk. I feel like Kiosk was like a sleeper hit. I feel like that was honestly like a huge sleeper.
Marfloria will ride again at AGDQ 2026.
Exactly.
Super happy to see that.
And I also think that if you like GDQ, please keep that same energy and go check out any of the other events that we do to help marginalized communities. And including the Disability and Neurodivergent Special. Submissions for that, again, close this weekend if you want to submit to that. Back to Black coming up in February. Frame Fatalis as a whole. There's so many events that we do year-round that have that are, show a spotlight on marginalized communities. And I think with how many people love GDQ and how successful that was, it really does go to show just how much representation matters, even in a niche community such as speedrunning, which all of us, we surround ourselves with people who are into speedrunning, but it is still generally pretty niche when you really take a step back and kind of see it compared to like a bunch of other gaming communities. But even then, even in these small communities, representation matters, and that is, I think, very clear after seeing the success and the happiness that was brought from GDQ.
I'll answer a question you didn't ask, but it's kind of related to what you were just talking about, which is to say, the games committee, we all knew each other. This would be myself, Carrarium, Laszlo or Lazlotus, Metroid Crime, and Mr. Shasta. But we didn't really have a good sense of like how each other's tastes would fit into one another. We run relatively different games, all things considered, if you've seen any of us run at a GDQ event or just in general before. And when we got together and started rating things and then came into our like phase 2 meeting where we're like, all right, here's where the rubber hits the road. What do we like? What do we not like? We were all pleasantly surprised to find, we all like the weird and out there runs. That's really awesome. I feel like the schedule we put together for Games Done Queer was probably like one standard deviation more obscure than the average other GDQ event. And that was something that I personally was really happy with, being able to show off weirder runs in a variety of different ways, whether it's, because weird controllers, because obscure games, whatever the case may be. We got to show off the one of Alexei Pajitnov's sequels to Tetris called Hatris, with an incentive where some friends of the runner stacked 15 hats upon his head during the run, thanks to everyone's generous donations. Those are just
music.
Where else are we going to get the opportunity to make that happen? Where else are we going to show off Hatris?
You're honestly so right. I definitely saw that Tetris block and the Puzzle Fighter block, I should say, because there was more than just Tetris there. But it was absolutely amazing, and I think that stuff like that is being able to showcase that on the GDQ screen, even with smaller events. I think it's incredibly important to have a space for those kinds of things.
All right.
So,
more questions.
How is the run progressing currently as we get through here?
Little mistakes, but nothing enormous. We have a decent amount of health here, so I feel good about that. This tower climb and this level are one of the hardest parts of the early run for me, because there is technically a boss manipulation to largely minimize this boss, and I'm not good at it. So I just take this kind of the casual way and hope for the best. We're going in, we got a little lucky extra health capsule. We're going in with near full health, so I will take that.
And that's the other appeal of this show and of Glitchless runs. If you don't like a trick, you don't have to do it. You don't have to.
Yeah, the idea, what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to rush up, get right in his face, and actually bait him to do the move he really wants to do at the beginning, where he tries to pick you up and slam you into the ceiling, which you can basically taunt him like a matador and just make him repeatedly do that move. Well, that's not how we want that to go, but yeah, basically we're trying to get him to short hop, immediately teleport and show up on either side of kind of our center dividing line there. We got a little off track and got picked up a couple of times, but managed through it because we came in with nearly full health, which is what I wanted to do. I feel good about that part.
Definitely.
Are you, Chatter, the only one who thinks that I look like Tim Curry? No. No, I hear that.
I was going to say that. I was going to say that. I'm just like, a teacher, I have someone in chat who has a question that I'm sure that you've never, ever heard in your life.
Right.
I think literally one of the first conversations me and a teacher had, I sent like a GIF from Rocky Horror Picture Show, and at some point T3 mentioned that like, I feel like I need to keep up with Tim Curry's work because people say that I look like him.
Right, yeah. No, I'm taking this speed run to the one place not yet corrupted by capitalism.
Exactly.
Peace. That's Red Alert 3, if I'm not mistaken. Somebody correct me on that if I'm wrong.
Please.
I'm going to need a little bit of serious time, but if you want to read off a question, I'll answer it once I'm done here.
No, I mean, I'm just seeing that a lot of people are like really loving how GDQ ended up being, to the point where some people are saying, oh, I want like a GDQ that's like a week long. And, in a world where we would have like the people to really make that happen, I feel like that'd be such a great thing to see more representation, to see like bigger events getting more focus, and to see like not only the event grow, but the community behind those events grow, and to show that how much of speedrunning is queer and is gay, like how many people in the LGBTQ community are like really at events. Like, I'm not sure if you've ever, like, for those of you that have like never been to a like in-person GDQ event before, so much of the community that goes to those events on a regular basis is like very queer and LGBTQ plus friendly, and to be seeing that showcased with a very specific event, I think is a beautiful thing. And I think a T3 and anyone else that worked on GD Queer would more than agree with that.
So that was waterless. That's technically the hardest trick in the run because it involves a very precise setup, and you basically like jump into a space that isn't there. There is a harder version that I don't do called iceless, which would have happened a few levels ago, where instead of using the sled to get the heart tank, you actually jump, and basically X uses his head to pull himself up onto a platform. I don't know how that works, and it's extremely difficult to do, but it does work.
Interesting.
Anyways, glad to have gotten that first time. Please continue.
No, it's just a lot of people are seeing the impact that GDQ had, and as I was saying, so many people that I meet in in-person events are like part of the LGBT community, and to be able to have them highlighted here with their own event, I think is an incredibly important thing. And I think
forget who it was who said it. It might have been Ray themselves. It might have been somebody like Empire Ship or Motos. There are so many queer community members who regularly get involved with events like this and just have really cogent points to say basically all the time. But the argument made was thus: it's not that there are so many queer people at events like Games Done Quick. Actually, now that I'm thinking of it, I'm pretty sure that it's Ray from an article that was created shortly before GD Queer went live. It's not that there are less or more queer people at these events. It's that the queer people who are at these events are eminently comfortable being themselves, and that is all the difference.
Exactly. And it's just stuff like this is why representation matters and why community matters. And if you are in the position to travel to GDQ and see their events, you're going to see how lovely these types of communities are, and how much impact that these communities under the GDQ umbrella really have towards people. Like, every time that I go in person and I see the Black in a Flash table, the Fatalis table, the other community tables, LHS, ASA, and just being able to have, and also there were queer meetups, there were meetups for Fatalis, there were meetups for all sorts of communities. It just really shines a light on how important these things are and how much people really attach themselves to it. Like, identity is a really important part of like being a person, and like people to be in a space that kind of takes that seriously and shines a light on those identities is vastly important. And so if you want to be able to see that, you're going to see more of that at GDQ 2026. That is going to come up here in January. If you're interested in doing that, and that's part of the reason like you want to be able to converse with more people that look the same as you, that have the same identity as you, please go do that. Registration is currently open for AGDQ until December 1st for early registration. Registration is really open until like even during the event, but if you want early registration at the cheapest price, you can do so now before December 1st.
Yeah, well said, my friend. But yeah, it's there's just something about it. Once a space gets that sort of reputation that people know that GDQ has, it just attracts more people. It's really that version of be the change you want to see in the world on a larger scale. And that is extremely cool.
Exactly.
Got any more questions saved up?
Please, if chat has like any more questions about like,
oh, there were other ones. I saw them go by. I just couldn't pay direct attention to them. So by all means, say them again if you want something from me.
One of our questions from our producer, Relkan, T3, can you tell us that you're escaping to the one place that hasn't been a capitalism space?
Yeah, no, that's the plan anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, this is one of our bosses where we did an extra second level charge shot to make sure that we saved one extra cycle. We did that earlier with Mammoth. But yeah, at that point, it's basically just all fadeaway jumpers to maximize our chance of hitting Spark Mandrill here. And it worked out very nicely. Happy with how that boss went. Please continue.
No, of course. We have a question from one chatter that says, if there were 430 hours worth of run submitted, how hard was it for you to parse that down and for the committee to parse that down to create what was the final schedule?
Yeah, for 5 of us, it was a very intimidating job. I made it a point at some point to specifically focus on runs that for a while there had no other reviews. That changed a lot in the last couple of days as people became available because we had people who were like involved with fatals, busy for other reasons. But yeah, I wanted to make sure that every single submission, every category, everything that people sent in got a fair look. So it was probably dozens of hours of work using Chameleon Sting here to get a cycle to get in and out because the crusher on the front of that robot is an instant kill. I didn't have to go get those, but I really am taking kind of every safety rail that the game will give me. And then, of course, naturally, I missed managing to jump up despite the fact that I got the tight cycle. Sometimes the body and brain do interesting things when they are focused on other things besides the speedrun currently being done.
No, exactly.
Yeah, no, it was... Gosh, like... That's not where I wanted to be. This is where I wanted to be. Because this makes the movement down into this section much, much easier. I enjoyed the work. You kind of get into a meditative state when you're like, all right, it's just me and the speedruns. Let's see what everybody brought to the table. Let's see the passion that they have on offer. So while it was a lot of work, I wouldn't say that it was like the hardest work. I don't know if you can make this without the sled. You know what? I'm just going to take the death and we're going to go get the sled again. Time for more questions.
We do have a question about the run here in chat. We have someone who's asking, what would you say is the worst Mega Man X series power-up that somehow is a really good in the run?
Rolling Shield is generally pretty good. It's probably trying to use... Gosh, how do I keep doing that? It's probably... No, Chameleon Sting is also good. The whole series, huh? It's going to come from a game other than X1 then. I'm just going to be a little more conservative with these, so I don't. What we're trying to do here ultimately is jump over the tops of most of the mountains because that's where those birds spawn. So ideally, we were trying to make it so none of them spawned because they're also an enormous point of slowdown in the game. But yeah, we created more problems for ourselves than we solved. Yeah, there are definitely some worthless ones. Honestly, probably the worst one in the speed run in this entire game is probably I'm going to say the missiles because I pick them up last in the route that I do. But honestly, you could make an argument for any run, any weapon that you pick up last, unless it's like Chameleon Sting or Rolling Shield, because you need both of those.
Definitely. I totally see what you're saying.
I appreciate the advice from chat and making sure my life count is good, but I heard that one-up jingle a couple of extra times, so I think we are actually in fine shape. All right, one more standard Maverick level, and then some cleanup and on to Sigma.
Generally speaking, I know that you were doing more than just games committee work during GDQ. What other type of work would you want to tell chat about? Kind of went behind the scenes into what you were doing.
Yeah, this was a labor of love, as Ray themselves would probably tell you, depending on when and how you asked. Everyone was pitching in basically wherever they could. The idea of it takes a village because people were unavailable, people were busy doing other things. We were running with what was probably a smaller than average crew for an event of this scope. So being able to do it the way that we did required people pitching in places that they might not normally have otherwise. I was also, as I have done in events that you put on and for a variety of other reasons and other times, I was also helping out with our hosts to help give them advice as they read out your donations and other things like that. I was helping the mods when they had questions. We were basically just all pitching in wherever we could, wherever it made sense to.
Very nice. And I definitely saw a lot of that work being done throughout the event, and I can imagine how many people were, of course, submitting runs, auditioning to be hosts. Like, it was like a lot of very tough calls, but just because of how much people were loving the event and wanted to be involved in it.
Hey, look, there's a minor glitch. We grabbed that heart tank from off screen, so it spawned in with a glitch sprite. That is actually part of, the run doesn't make, or the community Mega Man X speedrun leaderboards does not make any sort of delineation between, like, what kind of glitches and how you route things out. So honestly, there really isn't like a major glitches route or an unrestricted. But I would argue that there is a trick called Magic Carpet, which if you take the Iceless route, you do Chameleon Sting very early, and then you do Storm Eagle a little later on. That lets you do a trick called Magic Carpet, as I mentioned, where you use the boomerang to spawn things as they would otherwise appear off screen. You basically spawn them directly into your hands. So in the case of that, you can use it to make a platform spawn under X in the Storm Eagle stage and just ride it out across the entire stage, like SpongeBob riding the rock across the sea. And that saves several minutes, but like in my mind, that's kind of a major glitch because you're using extremely unintended game mechanics. You can actually do those kinds of grabs at several other points, but we did it only, when something was just off screen. So I think that very clearly counts as no major glitches.
A glitch in my show, in my scenic routes.
Minor glitches only, my friend.
Minor glitches only. You're so right. NMG is part of the show. A lot of people when I like reach out to them, it's just like, oh, I can like, remove like this glitch from the run, and I'm just like, NMG counts. You don't have to do that. Like, you don't have to like remove or like perform your run differently for the like sanctity of the show. Like, I reached out to you because I thought it was fine. So I definitely, a lot of people think it's like no glitches. I'm just like, no, we can do something. We can do a little bit. That's a treat, That's a treat.
No glitch? No, one glitch. One glitch is fine.
One glitch is fine. Perfectly fine.
You can have a little glitch as a treat.
Exactly. Just a little bit. Yeah. Honestly, sometimes I feel like even NMG runs can sometimes improve the quality of life of the run versus like full-on glitchless.
Absolutely. If they let you avoid an irritating section mechanic, etc., especially if it's one that like involves a lot of mashing and your hands aren't so good for that anymore.
Exactly.
You're absolutely right.
Majora's Mask is definitely something that comes up when I think of like a NMG run that has like glitches scattered throughout, and like, yes, they are minor glitches, but they are also like quality of life, because sometimes glitchless can be very strict, especially with like retro games, because retro games can sometimes be really glitch heavy runs in the N64 Game Boy era of gaming.
Yep, there was definitely a period where the phrase Nintendo hard meant a very specific thing, especially because for a long period of time, the American market regularly made games more difficult to juice the rental economy, to make people more likely to go to Blockbuster to check out a game more than once.
Wait, really?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I did not know that was a thing. I thought it just sucked at Ocarina of Time.
Occasionally went the no, by N64 that was falling off. It was a lot more common with the likes of NES and SNES games. But like you could also, there were some times when the PlayStation 1 got that. Gosh, one of these days I'm going to remember to shoot the right number of lemons as we get onto the cart here. Thankfully, this isn't the. Why don't you give me another question?
No, yeah, I was just curious about that, because like about what you were talking about, because I felt like when it comes to certain retro games where it's like they were like frustratingly difficult for me, to a point where I was just like, it doesn't feel fun.
That could be for any number of reasons. Back then you couldn't patch games, so if an unintended mechanic made progression difficult, introduced more soft locks. I heard somebody asking about soft locks in chat earlier. Those sorts of things you just had to live with. Where's the tally? Asked Chad. That was 1. So we still got a little bit to go. So like Oz, if you wanted to do announcements, now would be an absolutely fantastic time for you to knock those out.
Yeah, of course. I do, of course, want to let everyone know that we just want to like thank you all for being here and for supporting the show. If you want to get more involved with the GDQ community, you can join the official Games Done Quick Discord server and add the Hotfix role to stay in the loop on upcoming events. If you want to get notified as to when this show will be on or any of your other favorite shows, you can do so there. You can chat with staff and do a lot more. You can use !Discord in the Twitch chat for invite and for more info. And if you want to catch up on past Hotfix shows, special events, and GDQ marathons over on youtube.com/gamesdonequick. You can catch up on all the VODs there. If you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to like the video and subscribe and turn on notifications to stay up to date with GDQ. And of course, if you're curious as to what's coming up on Hotfix, check out this week's schedule and explore a full season and season lineup at gdq.gg/Hotfix. We have a very wonderful lineup of runs and shows this week, including a tea tree show that is going to come up later this week on Wednesday out of the box. And honestly, one thing that I think is very, very common between my show and a tea tree show is that they're kind of both focusing a little more so at tea trees than mine, obviously, because my show can take a little bit of a direction to that. But one thing that I think is very common is that both of us try to focus on, accessibility when it comes to speedruns. When a tea tree show is just like, what if you can just like open up a game and immediately start speedrunning it as if you don't have to do any setup? And my show is just like,
because that's what worked for me, honestly. Like finding the game that I could just jump in and start running immediately, which was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. The fact that I didn't have to like think about it. It also helped that it was a new game, so there weren't existing methods. I'm like, all right, I'm just going to throw this at it and see if it works. And that was what it took to get me into speedrunning after a decade of watching, or nearly a decade of, that's not going to work, nearly a decade of watching and not thinking speedrunning was for me. Back to you, Al, so I can focus on this part.
And like for this show, I like to focus on accessibility in a different way, where it's just like a lot of people are intimidated by glitches and runs, or a lot of runs that are like very technical and very heavy on their glitches. And I feel like you don't have to do that. If there is something in a run that you don't like to do, if there's a trick that you feel like is frustrating and you don't want to do it, you don't have to. Not to say that a run won't be difficult, not to say that a run won't, cause you some frustration every now and again. Especially if it's a smaller run that's like a pretty hyper optimized thing. But you can do a run without needing to learn all of the very technical glitches, and oftentimes it can be even more fun than doing the glitches themselves. A lot of the more popular runs, some of the most popular runs in speedrunning, I would say, can be glitchless runs, especially with like Dark Souls communities. I feel like it's a really nice one because glitches in those games are wild. Or even like some of the most popular games, like some of the most popular games are like Ocarina of Time or Majora's Mask, and they had incredibly popular NMG and glitchless runs for those games. And so
this is also a glitch, albeit not a major one. You'll notice that Zero's face just turned vile colors. This is we activated by manipulating the text boxes on screen and firing off a rolling shield coming onto this screen. We made it so that Vile's fight and the text box that's supposed to happen after Vile captures you happened at the same time. That's how we save 11 seconds here.
11, those are an important 11 seconds. They really are.
Ideally.
Yeah. And so I do enjoy the focus on both of our shows with like accessibility, but in different types of accessibility, I would say. And definitely. So I definitely enjoy being able to try and tell people that, speedrunning is for everyone, and you can approach speedrunning in literally any way that you want to for a TV show. If you don't want to, have to do a bunch of setup. I'm gonna glaze a tea tree show here because I think it's an absolutely amazing concept. Only because you have no idea how many times I have tried to speedrun the video game Portal or Portal 2, and then I realized that you have to set up so much stuff to speedrun those games, and then I just didn't. I just didn't do it because I did not want to do that.
Some of the runs that I enjoy watching the most, like Pizza Tower, involve a lot of esoteric setup to run at a high level.
It's true. It's very true.
And I started running that game. I put down some times And I enjoyed what I did, but I realized I just couldn't go further without learning how to like map multiple buttons to the same thing and start installing mod loaders and stuff. And I'm just like, no, I'm enjoying watching other people do that more than I want to try to do it for myself.
Oh, 100%. And there's so much stuff that I feel like I've tried to get into, and then I try to like set up more stuff. It's just like I need to like go through the process of setting up a bunch of stuff.
By the way, the way to handle that boss is to actually be able to decipher those patterns real quickly. So like if you've ever played the pipe minigame from Mario Party and you lost to a friend, maybe they played Mega Man X and learned how to do it from watching this fight. Because you actually have to feel like it'll go back and forth if another wire is available to it lower down. So yeah, you have to learn how to decipher those really, really quickly.
Oh, definitely. And one thing that I want to ask about your show is that, like, you know, for me and for my show, I have to do this thing sometimes where it's like, if a run isn't like labeled as like glitchless, or if it's not labeled as NMG and it's just labeled as a like standard 80% run, I have to do this awkward thing where I then have to go through the run and determine whether or not it is quote unquote glitchless enough for the show.
Sure.
So what in your mind is like the cutoff for like, this is just too much setup for a game, essentially?
Yeah, no, I also do a decent amount of research. Everything from like, hey, is this the most common version of the game? Are there version differences that make it like so that you, depending on what place you live, when you were able to get a copy of the game, is the like modern re-release based on a version that still allows for the same glitches? And depending on how that goes, I might have to look for a different category, a different runner, etc. I have made one mistake so far, which is I got excited enough about having my good friend Ryan Ford on that I asked him to do a category that works in all versions of Link's Awakening DX, that works in all versions of original Link's Awakening, but not DX. So I've actually asked him, and he was so gracious as to learn the glitchless category of the game, and will show back up at some point to do the run back of a totally out-of-the-box friendly category.
Nice. I've definitely thought of stuff like that. It's just like where you could technically do the run without the setup, but you know, a lot of runs at a higher level use the setup. You use like setup in the runs. One thing that I
on rang to bang to hear.
Yeah, exactly. One thing that I know that you've had Super Mario Sunshine on your show, and I know that for a fact that you can't speedrun that game without setup. But I also know that like the vast majority of like really top runners like do a lot of setup. Like, you know, they homebrew their Wii to set up practice tools on there. While it's technically not set up for the run itself, it's still something that like I feel like is really embedded in like the, of course, speedrunning culture of a specific game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, granted. And we did actually do one of the things that I really liked about that was my first show actually. We used that practice ROM after the run to show off what the runner, who was the world record holder at the time and is not now, shout outs to a very active speedrunning community years after the fact, but to show off some glitches that he felt were particularly approachable, which is awesome.
Very nice. It's very nice. Who was that runner again?
Well, you're putting me on the spot here. I don't remember off the top of my head. I'd have to look in my Discord DMs.
No, I'm asking, is it the runner that's going to be doing the opening run in GDQ?
No, that's the current world record holder.
Ah, okay. I was like, I wanted to.
Inkster is the current world record holder, I think.
Yes, that's true. Yeah. I was like, is that the same person? I'm like, it has to.
No, that's why I said shout outs to an active speedrunning community, because like the runner that I had on the first show had just taken the record recently themselves, and now it's somebody else.
Mm-hmm. I see what you're saying.
Yep. This, speaking of easy versus difficult setups, this fight has an incredibly difficult setup that actually lets you skip it. You jump on the inside wall as you start the fight. You pause to buffer the ability to use the ice sled. You fire the ice sled off of the wall, and then either buffered or unbuffered, you use the ice sled as a platform that you can stand on for maybe a quarter of a second and fire off a Hadoken. I can do that maybe 10% of the time, so I don't go for it. Ice Hado is very scary.
I did see someone asking if there was Hadoken 100%.
Speaking of Hadoken, we took a shot from our friend Mandrill here using the one thing that not jumping doesn't account for, which is using the ground slam at the front. And I was too busy talking and did not pay enough attention. So shame on me for that.
That just happens sometimes when you're commentating a run.
Yeah.
You get too locked in on the commentary.
A little bit. It's fine. We'll health back up before the next door if we need to. Yeah, we do need to. I'm not going to bother to go up and get that, so we'll use one of these instead. That's why I took some extra opportunities to get health tanks throughout the run. Granted, part of them I was hoping to potentially use on the final boss of this level if I get into a bad way, but we'll just have to be fast and good, you know, like a speedrunner does.
Fast and good, as one does. I just wanted to mention, folks, we were talking about GDQ earlier, and I did plug our YouTube earlier. I'm checking the YouTube right now, and we actually have pretty much every single run up from GDQ
awesome.
up on YouTube right now. With the exception of the finale, but that's of course going to get uploaded soon. They're being uploaded intermittently, so be on the lookout for that. And of course, make sure that you just check out all the runs that were featured at GDQ because they were really, really good.
Yeah, like the entire last day, honestly. Might have just been like the vibes from us in the room, but the vibes for the last day were totally immaculate. Fantastic blocks.
Definitely.
Everything leading up to the finale. The finale is quite possibly the most unhinged thing the Games Done Quick channel has ever broadcast. Just terrific time.
I have been in many GDQ events server as well as now staff, and also as someone who likes to volunteer for a lot of events as well. And so I definitely think that like the GDQ space was something that I engaged with a lot more because I felt like the vibes, as you said, on the last day. Not only from the stream itself and from the Twitch chat, but also from the community surrounding it, and the Discord server that were running the event. And I feel like that was a real huge testament as to how needed this kind of event was.
Yeah, I'd like to think so. I mean, nobody can give better testimony than the people running, watching, being involved with the event themselves. And a lot of you have spoken out, and thank you very, very much for that. Like, all of your stories resonated with my own, touched so many hearts. Like, one of the things that I wrote in a brief Blue Sky post before going to bed last night was, while I'll ruminate on things further and add more thoughts. 1 second. Okay, good. I genuinely felt that this weekend put just a little bit more magic in the world than had been there before. And like, you can't feel better about things at difficult times like this more than that.
Oh, 100%. So in this kind of environment, I definitely feel like we needed this kind of event more than ever. And so,
by the way, time ends when Final Sigma runs out of health.
Big kudos to anyone who worked on the event. Everyone.
And time.
GG.
Just underestimate.
That was so much fun.
For being completely rusty on the run, I feel fine about that. Thank you so much for having me, Ozmourn. Yeah, if you want to know where you can find me, go back and watch the GD Queer VODs. I had a small part in making that happen. Tremendous time. Really can't say enough good things about it. Sincerely hoping that we get to do it again. And watch Out of the Box on the Games Done Quick Hotfix every other Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. That's going to be all from me. Actually, you know what? No. One more thing. Please be good to yourselves and each other, and volunteer for more speedrunning events, because that's the other place you'll find me. I always say it. You will find me behind the scenes so much more often than in front of it, and I hope to see you there. Thanks, everyone. Enjoy the rest of the Scenic Route.
Thank you so much for that amazing run of Mega Man X 100% a T Tree. I hope all of you enjoyed that amazing run. It was absolutely beautiful And so I am so excited for the rest of this episode. We still have Super Fancy Pants Adventure. Like T3 said, please go check out the rest of the shows that we have here on the GDQ Hotfix. Go check out their show on Wednesday at 7 p.m. Out of the Box. Again, a show focused on accessibility when it comes to speedruns. Runs you can just, do quote unquote out of the box. You just start off speedrunning immediately, no setup. That is an absolutely amazing show, so you should definitely go check that out. Meanwhile, please stay tuned for the rest of the Scenic Route. We'll be right back with Eye of Newt doing Super Fancy Pants Adventure, so please stay tuned. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Scenic Route here on the GDQ Hotfix. My name is Ozmourn, and I hope you all have been having a wonderful, wonderful night. For those that are just tuning in, this show is all about glitchless and no major glitches runs, or runs that just naturally have little to no glitches in them, which you just saw with Mega Man X, and which you're going to see right here with Super Fancy Pants Adventure. And we have a wonderful lineup. We have Super Mario Bros. And of course Super Mario Bros. 3 coming up right after this. So if you want to see those runs as well, please stay tuned for the rest of the show tonight. Before we begin, I want to do a brief announcement and shout out Frame Fatales. Frame Fatales is a community of women and femmes who share a passion for speedrunning, gaming, and charity, in addition to their 2 flagship events. They host activities year-round in their community Discord, like Game of the Month and Randomizer events. And of course, Frost Fatales is going to come up later this year in March, or later next year in March, I should say. Type !FF in chat to learn more and to get involved. So please get involved with all of these minority communities we have featured here on GDQ Hotfix and GDQ as a whole. We talked about that a lot during the last run, and I cannot emphasize enough how important these communities are for you to, and your support means the absolute world to them. So with that being said, we are going to go straight into our next run here, a wonderful indie 2D platformer, modern 2D platformer called Super Fancy Pants Adventure by the one and only Eye of Newt. So please, Newt, take it away.
Gladly, Oz. Thank you for having me on this show. I'm super happy to show this off. Hi, my name is Eye of Newt. I also go by May. Feel free to call me whatever. This is Super Fancy Pants Adventure, little fun 2D platformer based off of those old Flash games that you probably played during school time back in the mid-2000s. Can jump right into it. I am joined today by a lovely commentator, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Mojo. I've run this game before. I've been commentating Newt's runs of these games at different events throughout the years, and I'm glad to be here with her on stream.
Happy to be here. Well, should we just get into it?
We shall.
Cool. Let's go. 3, 2, 1, go.
Wonderful. Good luck and have fun.
Thank you. So, Super Fancy Pants Adventure. One thing that is going to be very apparent right here at the start of the game is it's got some funky movement. Would you mind talking about slide jumping a little bit here?
This game has movement. It has movement for days.
Movement.
Yeah, the game's movement is so fluid in this. The main technique you're going to see is slide jumping. If you're holding down as you're coming out from the air, you immediately go into a slide or like a backward tumble, like you just saw from there, which lets you like immediately transfer your downward velocity into horizontal velocity. When you're in that slide state, you are able to jump out of it in order to like get more air. All of the velocity in this game, all of the movement is extremely dynamic. So if you're landing on a slope, you're going to be getting additional speed from that landing compared to when you're landing on flat ground or landing uphill. So a lot of this game is just knowing all of the different slopes that you're coming across to be able to regain speed from anything where, in case you get disrupted off route.
And there will be plenty of that happening.
We saw a little bit of that, but being able to just like pick yourself back up is super important in the run, and the game gives you ample opportunity for it.
Exactly. So this first level that we are flying through right now is called Spire. It's really just like a getting to know the game a little bit. Some pretty straightforward platforming. Although we are playing New Game Plus. So we get to do some fun stuff that we don't normally get to do at this part of the game.
Oh my god.
Fun stuff is great. Most notably is we get to use this pen that I have. We normally don't get it until the next room that we are about to go through. But we also get to use some abilities along the way too. Wojo, I'm going to throw it back to you if you don't mind talking about the ink stuff.
Whoa.
Yep. So pen gives you a few different movement techniques. One of the things you're going to see right now is her ability to surf on paper in the background. That'll be relevant on a few screens throughout the game. The more important thing that we're going to have access to is a dash, which we'll talk more about later. You'll notice that her ink reservoir is located in the top right portion of the screen. You have 3 ink charges available to you for those dashes. And you get the ink back by hitting certain enemies. Because the game doesn't expect you to have access to those ink abilities at this time, none of the enemies around here are going to be giving you ink, which means that we have to save that movement technique for the moments where it most counts.
Yep, exactly. We'll be using it quite sparingly here in level 2. Already in the second level of the game. If you can believe it. Squiggleville Plains. I love Squiggleville. It has a ton of like these like rolling hills that you see, which give you really wonky slide jumps, and sometimes you can get like a lot of speed going like through here, but they can also mess you up pretty easily. This is probably the most like on the fly thinking level in the game, if I were to pick one.
Probably is the most variable throughout the run just because of all the enemy placements.
Yeah.
Should make a small mention that if you land on top of an enemy, typically you'll be doing damage to it as well as getting a small hop off of them, much like a Mario game where you can adjust your hop size. We're also going to see the first dash coming up here so that she's able to make that cycle onto the platform.
I'm genuinely mesmerized by how fluid the movement and how easy like Nude is making it look.
Yes. There's so much happening under the hood in terms of what she's doing in order to get and maintain speed.
There we go.
Like there was one small jump in there where she's managed to skip a whole bunch of platforms that I've just never gotten that required like 3 platforms worth of setup.
Yeah, it's like 3 or 4 jumps that you have to do in a row that are a little bit precise. So
Yep.
I jumped a little bit early there. Hit the lemon.
Most objects in this game will affect your movement in some way. Like if you hit those little lemons that have additional squiggles in them, you'll get bounced off of them. Squiggles refill your health in this game and can also be used as currency for upgrades, but we have all of the upgrades already. She's just going to briefly fly underneath the level to skip like half of it.
Naturally, as one does.
Naturally.
Yeah.
We're taking the Scenic Route today.
Exactly. That's the, oh my god, you said the name of the show! Oh my goodness!
Gonna use another dash
right
there.
Yep.
I have a question. Does this game have lore?
There's ink monsters where there shouldn't be.
Oh no!
So there's some recurring... Okay. We should explain this room. This room is a little bit rough. All of the ink droplets that you're seeing like jump out of the pools and fall down from the ceiling are all on the same global cycle for the room. There's only one cycle, but where in the cycle the room is when you start is tied to when you started the game. Yeah. And so you enter the room and are immediately faced with like 2 droplets and have about no time to react. It can really throw you off.
To put it into perspective,
the global cycles start when you open the game. That's wild.
Something like that. It is entirely inconsistent.
Yeah, you just have to on the fly adjust to whatever cycle is there when you get there.
Exactly, and it's like the only spot in the game that's like relevant to, at least to the speedrun.
We are quickly making our way through Squiggleville plains and coming up to what would normally be the one glitch of the run. But we're taking the scenic route.
We're taking the scenic route today.
We're taking the scenic route. Exactly.
So instead of running up this wall right there, I'm gonna walk all the way down here, check in with our ice cream pirate, and have to go report to
he's
the mayor.
The ice cream man who you can purchase all of your upgrades from. But because it is New Game Plus, we already have every single one of the upgrades, right, Newt?
Sure, yeah, we'll go with that. No, this is not true. I do not have one of the upgrades, and you cannot make me get that upgrade because I I refuse.
There is an optional. So most of the upgrades are like more health, more ink in your reservoir, more damage from your pen. There's
a couple like special moves as well, like the pogo, like I do right there. It's useful at a couple of spots in the run. And there's also one called Saw Blade,
which is really fun and isn't that great for speedrun and isn't necessary in order to get good times.
It does have like a couple of fringe uses, but those strats came like at a time after I'd been running the game for a while, and I feel like, oh no.
All right.
It's okay.
We should talk a little bit more about movement and less about our end jokes.
Yeah.
So we have gotten to the part of the game where it expects us to have access to pretty much all of our movement tools, including the dash. Dash has a few properties, including invulnerability as the time that you're moving with it. As you can see, it is a strong burst of horizontal movement. And if you hit an enemy with it, you can jump out of it, chain those jumps together like you did up there for a bully ladder, and just make your way up tall rooms really fast. It also has a small lock-on property with the enemies, which helps. We're going to be using that a lot for routing throughout specific rooms.
All right.
But because we're using it so often, that also means we have to route in hurting certain enemies in order to get our ink charges back. So between that and then just like keeping your momentum up, hitting the right slopes, all that, there's an odd amount of stuff you have to keep track of throughout the game. But it still manages to flow together super smoothly.
I think so. Theoretically. Nice.
Oh, you made that jump inkless. You're crazy.
The backup. Typically, you hang on to a little bit of ink there to dash to that platform, but I was able to just get the right amount of momentum and then immediately run into some enemies in this room, of course.
Should point out, it's a little hard to see because there's that little loading screen between rooms, but momentum carries over whenever you exit a room. So if you're leaving a room super fast, you enter the next room super fast. And when there is an ink blot waiting for you, or an enemy waiting for you, that gives you even less time to react. So you need to know what's happening to you in advance.
Oh, that's unlucky.
We are making our way through Tree Pirate Valley, by the way. They're from Super Fancy Pants 2, I think?
3. World 3.
3. This is the lore. No, we were trying to remember earlier. So Rainbow Beard and his gang of pirates are currently stuck because of the ink, and we have to help get their ship free by knocking out a couple of pipes that are spawning those ink drops. You did a super... She did a super sick movement there by just running off the slope and hitting enemies super quick in order to like skip this entire room. A little bit of flub at the end, but it still looks clean.
You know, it still looks fun, right? EPV, the bane of my existence.
It is one of the hardest levels in this game.
What else would you consider like the harder levels, out of curiosity?
I would say Volcano, probably.
Volcano, yeah.
And Approach as well is frustrating just because we'll get to Approach when we get there. We'll get to both of those when we get there.
I do love both Approach and Volcano though. And I'm very excited that we're going to get to show off approach soon. And I hope it goes a little bit more smoothly than that TPV did.
I have a question. When was the last time that you ran this for the GDQ screen?
Ooh, I believe that was 2022.
2022?
Yeah, I was on Hotfix, Awfully Silly, back in 2022. Frost Fatales edition, because I ran this at Frost Fatales 2022.
Ah, okay.
It's been a couple years.
A couple years. I thought that the last time you ran this was GDQ 2020, because I did see that run.
Yes, yep. That was the big one. I did spend a while back, like 2020, 2021, I was running this game at like a lot of events. I'm super happy to be showing it off again. So that was the second boss. You may be wondering where the first boss was. Don't worry about it.
It was in a pit we jumped over.
Exactly. So approach. I love Volcano Approach. I think it has some of the most interesting movement in the game. It also has a section towards the back end where there are no enemies at all. And as we talked about earlier, we sort of rely on our enemies to be able to refill our ink. So we're gonna have to get crafty and use our ink dash in only a couple of specific spots. And we can point those out when we get closer to them. But in the meantime, I will fill up my ink right there. And then that's the last enemy that we'll see until the boss of this level.
How can these ink blots be enemies when they just look like little guys?
They are just little guys, let's be real.
Like, they look like they need a hug, you know?
They probably do need a hug, honestly. So I think the lore, if I can talk about Fancy Pants lore for a second.
Of course.
Is that
anytime
like,
is a good time to talk about Fancy Pants lore.
Every time, this is what I'm always saying. I think the lore is that the ink is like kind of sentient and is from like a different world and shouldn't be there and is trying to take over this world. I believe is how it goes.
There is another video game that has like this exact same plot, and it's called Disney Epic Mickey, and I am obsessed with that game. And like, those are the only two things that correlate between these two titles.
They're the same game.
They're the exact same game. Those are the only two things.
I think I saw that Epic Mickey is on the games list for the upcoming AGDQ.
It's on backup.
It's on backup. Okay.
I will like eat my shoe if it gets off backup because I love that game so much.
We are in the back half of Approach. This is the section that she was talking about where we are out of enemies. We already used 2 of our ink dashes, and we're coming up to one large important jump where we often use ink dash, but I assume she's going to try to skip that, go for the inkless jump. Oof.
Not quite. Second try though. Watch this. I'll do a couple buffers.
Let's go.
And so we can use that dash right here to sneak under that little platform of spikes. That saves us a couple seconds.
We should bring up the other main mechanic of Approach that we haven't talked about, which is all of those small rips of paper that you're seeing. A lot of the screens in this section involve you jumping forward and backward between the layers of the room. And sometimes we're able to just like skip complete sections of the room just by going to where the back layer would deposit you back out at.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is what that inkless jump is about. She's gonna hit that enemy real quick, and we are in our third boss fight.
We are.
This boss fight requires you to hit the enemies that are lingering around the room into the main boss, which means a little bit of an auto-scroller. We're just going to be like dancing around these enemies while we wait for the boss to get close enough. Like any good boss, takes 3 hits, and then we'll be off to the last level. We're almost near the end of the run already.
almost there.
Oh my god!
And look,
the
it's the
inevitable-
one time we have to use the ink. It's the one
There
time
we
we
go.
use the gun.
The inexorable passage of time really does get to us all, doesn't it?
It sure does. Welcome to Volcano. Volcano is
Volcano.
tough. I'm gonna try a skip right here. Just jump
Let's
over the wall.
go.
Easy
Yeah,
peasy.
there's a few arena sections in the game where like there'll be a part of your route blocked off by ink, and you knock out enough enemies before the game lets you continue. But you can also just ink dash off of those enemies and then wall jump and then ink dash back towards the wall and typically go above whatever is trying to block you off with. We've done that a few times throughout this run. That is definitely the most meaningful one, though.
Oh,
And
yeah.
also the hardest one.
And the hardest one. The enemies, where they spawn is a little bit random, so sometimes you can just get hit by an enemy that spawns a little bit closer to you. Randomness at the very end of my speedrun. Always a
rude.
pleasure.
That's just offensive.
And lots of
Right.
hard tricks as well.
Oh, yeah.
Volcano is a brutal end to Fancy Pants. Good save.
Whoa, come on.
Yo, so nice we
Keep
got to
doing
see
the
it
same,
twice.
though. That's beautiful.
So true. There's a lot of really tight platforming in this level that I
Yeah.
always think is a lot of fun. I love this section right here.
I will say though, I think that a mark of a really good speedrunner, and that's something that Newt has been doing a lot here, is that whenever I feel like she kind of messed up on something, she then does a backup that honestly looks just as cool as if she had gotten the trick in the first place, which I think is beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you. That comes with the many, many hours spent speedrunning this game. Years of practice, I can say. All right, this is also pretty fun. I'm gonna pogo off of that. Whoa!
Nope.
Just kidding.
Psych.
Listen to me, not psych. I take it back. Instead, we're just gonna dash right over here. Land on a little platform. Do some really tight platforming. Easy peasy.
And we're kind of
We're back in it.
the final room of Volcano, I'm pretty sure.
Yep. Yeah, this is it. Whoop.
Unlock the stop lane. You
No.
won't.
Never.
No.
So we are at the end of Volcano, but we have one boss fight left to go, which is up against Inky Pants.
Yeah, a little bit
who's
of a
gonna-
flashing lights warning, by the way, right here for a couple of seconds. I'm gonna go quiet, Wojo, if you don't mind explaining the boss fight.
I would love to.
Awesome.
So Inky Pants has essentially the same movement and tool set as us. What we're gonna do against him is try and use some charge slashes to get him against a wall real quick, and then essentially keep him stun locked by sliding at him, attacking with the slide, or we're gonna dash at him and then charge slash the opposite direction to get away from the wall.
Here, I just need to lure him into the corner quick.
So, yep, you're gonna see her dashing repeatedly to the right and then charge attacking to the left. The charge attack keeps him in stun, and the dash gets us back in position to keep doing that over and over again.
There we go.
Really clean fight still.
Thank you. Time is going to be up here real soon, so get ready on that. And time.
GG.
GG. Thank you.
That was really good.
Yeah, that was pretty solid. TPV was a little sloppy, but I'm happy with approach and Volcano in general. That was pretty great.
That
And it
was
looks like about a 21 RTA, which is pretty solid, honestly.
2055.
2055.
especially given that we did a mild adjustment of route for keeping things scenic.
Yes, exactly. We had to keep it scenic here today.
Yeah.
Super happy to. I do want to answer one question in chat. I am sipping a sleepy time tea because it is past my bedtime And I do love me some chamomile tea. Thank you again, Ozmourn, for having me on the show. I'm super, super stoked to show this game off. I think it's a really awesome speedrun. People should play it. You, viewers at home, pick up this speed game because it's a lot of fun and it's super satisfying.
Thank you so much for doing that amazing run. Where can the people find you?
That's a good question. Been pretty offline these days, not gonna lie. But you can find me at twitch.tv/iof_newt is probably the main place to find me these days. I tend to be a bit of an internet hermit at the moment.
And of course, Wojo.
Twitch.tv/Wojo42 is pretty much the only place nowadays. I am also in internet hermititude.
Love it.
Social media is bad for you, I think.
Agreed.
You think? Think so? I'm not sure.
Hot take, it might be.
Hot take. But yes, thank you so much for that amazing run of Super Fancy Pants Adventure. I love this run ever since you showed it to me at SGDQ. And so having it on this, when I was like crafting this episode, I'm just like, I don't know. I want like another like modern 2D platformer, and then I immediately thought of this, and I was just like, I need this on the show. Actually,
thank you so much.
Very happy to have you on. Thank you all so much for watching that amazing run of your Super Fancy Pants Adventure. We're going to continue the 2D platformer action and go back to some more retro platformers at the NES era. We're going to be right back after this break with Super Mario Bros. By the one and only world record holder Nipsky. We'll be right back. Hello again, everyone. My name is Ozmourn, and here we are again with a wonderful episode of the Scenic Route. I hope y'all have been enjoying this episode so far. The vibes of this episode have been absolutely amazing, and I'm sure that we're going to be keeping that through for the rest of the night here. We just had a run of Mega Man X, followed by a run of Super Fancy Pants Adventure, with the theme of being 2D platformers tonight, and we are going to continue this theme with some Super Mario Bros. And Super Mario Bros. 3 right after these brief announcements that I want to read out here. First and foremost, I just wanted to promote that GDQ is hosting its very first Disability and Neurodivergent special on November 29th and 30th. The event will celebrate speedrunners who identify as disabled or neurodivergent in any way that is meaningful to them. If you'd like to apply to run, applications are open through November 9th, and type !DND in the chat for the link to apply. Please go support all of these communities under the GDQ umbrella. It means the world to them, and I cannot stress enough how important they are. With that being said, we're going to go straight into this run here. This is Super Mario Bros. Glitchless by the one and only, the world record holder who has been on such a grind with this game as of recent. It is Nipsky. So please, Nipsky, take it away.
What's up, everyone? I'm Nipsky. I'm the current world record holder of Super Mario Bros. Glitchless, which we will be running today. For this run, I'm hoping to get a low 503, which optimally will be within half a second of world record. If I play good, I have to basically play just optimally throughout the entire run, and in 8-4, I'm going for what is basically 8 frame perfects in a row. And if I hit them all, then, you know, it'll be an amazing run. I'm actually going for like 4th place on the leaderboard here, is what optimally this run will be. But either way, I'm excited to get this run done. Hopefully at least a sub 6. And yeah.
All right. Well, whenever you're ready, we can just go ahead and start the run. Of course, you have a commentator here with you as well.
Yep, Kuki also commentating this run. If you want to introduce yourself, Kuki, real quick.
Hello, everyone. I'm Kuki. I'm also a speedrunner of this game. I have a 454.831, and I'm 3rd place in the leaderboard currently. And I'm going to be commentating Nipsky's run today.
All right. Well, we can start whenever you're ready.
All right. The game will start in 3, 2, 1, now. All right, we're off, guys.
So pretty much, Nipsky starts out by doing a simple 1-1. Does everything that gets the perfect frame over here without an FBG because, you know, that's a glitch. So he does optimal 1-1, grabs the top of the flagpole to save the frame because that's faster in this game. Accelerating backwards off of the flagpole saves extra time. And that will be a thing that he makes use of in other levels as well. 1-2, he will be doing the glitchless route as well, where he goes up above. He doesn't clip through the pipe like in any percent. He will, however, do pipe jumps in this level to save some extra time. That's not a glitch, however. He goes through the plinths, but that's because the hitboxes are a little bit smaller than they actually appear to be. We'll see right now. Gets the 2 pipe jumps there. He has some extra leniency with this frame because the frame is actually very lenient, and since I already mentioned it, this game operates in 21 frame long cycles where you can complete a level and the game checks for the level completion and it progresses through the next level. So you can actually get to next levels in chunks of time that you know will happen, so you can prepare for patterns later in the game, like 8-3 Bowser. And right here, Niski's actually going to perform a funny swag thing. You're going to see that he's going to grab the middle of the flagpole, which usually would lose time, but because he grabbed the mushroom in the middle of the level, that saves time on the flagpole coming down, because this game is just like that. It's not a glitch, it's just how the game works. And that is also something he's going to do in a 1 to save extra time there. Right now, he's going to do the glitchless route for 4-2, which requires a vine climb that's super fast, so let's watch as he does it.
Lock in here.
Good.
And that is optimal. Let's go. He is on pace for his current route. So as you saw, he had to bop the vine block, and instead of just going to the right, he actually stops there, bops the invisible coin block to go up and grab the vine. So here we have 8-1. The same rules here apply for any percent, where you actually shouldn't normally save the frame roll in this level, but because of the star block in the middle of the level, there's a mechanic that he just used in 4-1 where it saves an extra frame of the flag coming down.
Oh, I canceled, I think.
And oh, nice. So
frame perfect jump.
You have a 4-frame window. Yeah, you have a 4-frame window in this, or not 4-frame window. There's a 4-frame window cycle for power-ups to come out of blocks, and if you get here in a bad frame, you can just lose the frame roll unless if you get a frame perfect jump.
Ooh,
He did save the extra frame.
Really good. I'm like, clenching here. My goodness.
Yeah, it's hard to explain, but basically I just did a frame perfect jump to not lose 0.35 seconds. It's really, I don't even know really exactly how it works, but yeah. Very funny tech there in that level.
He gets past the middle pipe jump in the level there, the most daunting obstacle in this level.
This is perfect.
Frame roll.
This is perfect for my strats. So it's probably going to be down to 8-4 here if I get 503 or slightly slower. But yeah, very good run. Perfect run for my strats. This is actually 0.35 seconds behind world record right now. Fun fact.
Yeah, the time saving 4-2 is extremely difficult to do, and he opts to not do it because, we got to do some run safe strats here, but this is still going to be a very good run even without that. And since he knows the patterns here, he just breezes right through. Does the Lakuki staircase strat there.
Yeah, so there, I slowed down to avoid fireworks, because if you get a 3 or a 6 in the ones digit, you actually set off animation of fireworks, which loses time. So that's what we avoided there. Okay, I gotta lock in. Come on. Oh my god, no way!
Yes, let's go. So Niski gets a perfect pipe entry there with the perfect fast excel. That saves a lot of time, and he's right now on pace for his actual goal. Let's see here.
This should be a 503.2, I think. Maybe .1. Yes, dude. I cannot believe I played that, dude. Oh, you guys don't understand. That is literally a top 5 time, bro. I can't believe I actually got it, dude. Let's go, dude. That's actually so awesome.
What was like the full final time?
I'm gonna have to retime it real quick. Let me see if I can get a retime. The split says 5:03.21. I'm gonna go ahead and look. I think that should be. Wait. Ooh, I think I split just on time. I can get double check confirmation real quick. But wow. I actually didn't really expect to get it, but that's, dude, I'm so proud of that run. I mean, literally, that was perfect for what I was going for, genuinely.
That's amazing. I was like holding my breath throughout the last, like through all of World 8, and I was just really, that was an amazing run, honestly.
Thank you. Okay, I'm getting time now. That is gonna be... Oh my gosh, wait, wow, dude, I didn't think it was this fast. That is 5:03.167, which is 4th place on the leaderboard. And mind you, this is a main category leaderboard in one of the most speedrun games of all time. 5:03.167, 1 frame off of 3rd place. So I do have the current world record, but if I didn't, that would be 4th place, which is amazing. I literally could not have played better. So, wow.
That was really good. That's an absolutely amazing run. And to see that here on like the GDQ screen, a run performed that well, it's absolutely amazing. Just to see the really cool skill on display. Where can the people find you for more of this, for more content like this?
So same name on all socials, twitch.tv/Nifsky, youtube.com/@Nifsky. There's also a bounty on any % world record, which I currently have the world record for it as well. But by the end of the year, there's currently a big bounty on any % world record for who has the world record by the end of the year. So I am basically daily grinding that. If you guys are interested, twitch.tv/Nifsky. There's a lot of interesting glitches and tricks you pull off. And that was just glitchless, obviously. But doing glitches it's a whole nother run. It's crazy. So you guys want to find me there. And yeah.
Of course. Like Cookie, do you want to shout anything out before we head out?
I appreciate the opportunity to be here. I'm also a speedrunner, like I said, of this game. I have 3rd place. I'm also going for the bounty. Daily doing record attempts of any %. My socials are pretty much my name, at Lakuki on YouTube, twitch.tv/Lakuki. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, so please go follow both of these amazing creators here that have been featured here on the GDQ Hotfix. They have been absolutely amazing people, and you can see that this is a run that was absolutely amazing, just displayed technical skills here. So please go check those out. I have been checking both of their channels out for the bounty because just watching a game like this being played at this type of level is something amazing. And so thank you so much for that amazing run, Nifsky, for showing off one of the best glitchless runs like you has ever seen here on this channel for this show. With that being said, we're going to be right back after a brief intermission, folks, with some more Super Mario Bros. We're going to skip over to Super Mario Bros. 3 by Alice HK8. So please stay tuned for that. Hello, everyone. My name is Ozmourn, and I hope you all are having a wonderful night here and enjoying this episode of the Scenic Route here on GDQ Hotfix. If you're just tuning in, the Scenic Route is all about runs that are glitchless, NMG, or just naturally have little to no glitches in them. You're going to be seeing a wonderful run here of Super Mario Bros. 3 any % warpless. There are glitches in this run. It's very minimal. The vast majority of the run is glitchless. And I realized that I forgot to do that bit that I usually do at the beginning of like every run that I introduce on my show, where I also say like happy holiday. And so I'm going to list off 4 holidays here. Happy Broadcast Traffic Professionals Day, Happy Cliche Day, Happy Give Someone a Dollar Day. I prefer if that someone was me. And then Happy National Sandwich Day. Please go eat a sandwich. They're good for you, I hear. And so please enjoy all those holidays for those who celebrate. And yes, those are all real holidays. Then they're all today. With that being said, we are going to get into this next run here of Super Mario Bros. 3 in a bit. Before we do that, I just want to read off a small announcement for you all, and that is, again, shouting out Black in a Flash, specifically Back to Black. Back to Black, GDQ's all-black charity speedrunning event supporting Race Forward, goes live February 5th to 8th and is currently accepting runs and volunteer submissions. Submit your runs at gdq.gg/submit. For more information about the event, visit gdq.gg/BAF. And a little bit more information about the volunteer side of things is that there are certain positions that are open to anyone, even if you aren't in the Black and Flash community yourself. So if you want to be able to support the Black and Flash community, I highly recommend volunteering, because that event is absolutely amazing. The people behind it do so much work, and to have a space for Black voices in the speedrunning scene is very important. Now, with that being said, we are going straight into our final run of the night. We've been having amazing 2D platformers this show. We're going to round out the night with Super Mario Bros. 3 Any% Warpless by Alice HKH with D-Haxor and Kuto on comm. So please, y'all, take it away.
Yeah, welcome everybody to Super Mario Bros. 3 Warpless. What does that mean? Well, we're not going to be warping. That's what it means. And technically, what we're going to see from Alice is glitchless, because the clips are an intended mechanic of the game, right, Kudo?
Yep, for sure.
So there technically is a glitch allowed, but we're not going to get into it because Spaycar glitch is dead. It doesn't exist.
Yeah, that's how it works. That's always how it works.
But yeah. So let's get started here. Let me count Alice down so she can get started, and then we'll kind of explain the run as we go here. So, all right, Alice. 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck and have fun.
If we get
Yeah,
that RNG
Warpless.
World 1, we can blame Hex, so.
So yeah, she's been playing a lot of 100%, so we do need to will her a little bit to not play all of the levels, right? So warpless, the idea of the category is you're not warping, but you are also trying to play the least amount of levels possible. So you want to skip things like auto scrollers, you want to utilize items such as hammers and clouds that allow you to skip stages. And I mean, before I finish that, she's already done with 1-1. That level is not as easy as it looked, but there we go.
Oh, 100%. One thing that I think is common when I was like looking up this game and like looking like to see if it really fit the theme is just like, my goodness, I watched the entire run. They like speed through these levels so fast. My goodness.
Yeah, you're
I
pretty
don't know
much
how to
getting P-speed in every level. There are a couple exceptions, and even a couple of those you can technically get P-speed in places. So, she did try to build P-speed at the beginning of this fort there. If you have P-speed over that one rotodisc that looked like it was impassable, you can actually jump over it. But being that she didn't get P-speed, it was kind of nice chill fort. Does the leaf grab perfectly there, and only loses a couple seconds there. Like, honestly, not even 2, I bet.
Yep.
And yeah, the damage boost there is intentional. So weird leaf mechanic with Mario is that once you build P-speed and jump in the air with a tail, you have your P meter locked for a certain amount of time, and then it's going to run out, and you're going to lose P-speed and have to rebuild it again. So that's obviously slow. And then in addition to that, there's like this drag that occurs when you jump in the air with a tail. So also kind of slow. So you'll see for most levels, we're going to be playing as Big Mario, Fire Mario, Small Mario, as opposed to having a tail. But there are a couple levels where a tail actually is advantageous. All right, we're going to get a nice leap of faith here. No belly flopping, and looks good.
All right, good.
This is gonna be the same as like Super Mario Bros. In the last level, where just like she's just gonna like fly through them, and I'm gonna be holding my breath throughout the entire run.
Yeah, some of the levels, especially as the game progresses, look scarier and scarier. First airship here. It is our first auto scroller. So good news about auto scrollers is you don't really lose time on them. usually. I mean, I say usually. I mean, you could mess up the boss kill, or take damage in a place because you're not paying attention.
Yeah, speaking of the boss kill, there's actually a certain pattern the boss can do, and that's determined by how long it takes you to exit, like the Hammer Bro or a stage, and then go to the ship. It's a global timer, and you can do slightly different things, but if you know what you're doing, then it's not too hard, at least in World 1.
Yeah. Most bosses, you only ever see a couple different patterns, and World 1's no different, where there's 2 different patterns you prepare for, and got the cringe one there, actually, but handled it perfectly.
Yeah, it worked out.
Yeah, that early wand shot there, sometimes that'll happen where it's just slightly vertical, which is the absolute worst. Like, you want it like 45 degrees or like flat, and she got like a 15-degree angle there, which is terrible.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's World 1 done. Very quick world. On the World 2, which is our desert world here. And yeah, there's some interesting, I mean, it's not that interesting, I guess. There's somewhat interesting D-lag strats in 2.1, which, unfortunately didn't get the P-speed build, so won't have to worry about it, of course. But we'll rebuild it here, and then, yeah, we're back on track again. No problem. So, if he does want to hold on to this fire, this is really important in the run. It does allow you to take out enemies that are in your way and make some levels easier, but it also makes boss fights quicker. So that's going to be both the Koopalings at the end of the worlds, as well as the Boom Boom fights within the fortresses themselves. On the Boom Boom fights, which the next stage we're going to see, it saves about 3 seconds per that you have a fire flower for. So kind of important here in World 2 to at least keep it to that point. And then there are places generally where you can re-grab them. That changes a bit once we get towards the halfway point of the game, but
This is also the first world where you're going to see RNG matter a lot more.
yeah.
The bros, what they decide to do.
Yeah, that's a good point. There is a strat called Early Hammer that allows you to skip additional stages, and all it is there's a hammer bro that spawns at the end of the world, and if you play the stages, he can move in a particular way at the end of each stage that allows him to move all the way to the left, and it allows you to skip 3 stages, but generally don't see it unless there is a manipulation strat, so you can manipulate it, or sometimes people get lucky, or sometimes they do deaths to try to manipulate it as well.
Yep. Really low odds to get it naturally as well, so that's why people do manips in world record level speedruns.
Yep. And I mean, manips have come a long way, obviously, so they're way more consistent than they used to be, but still it's a lot of effort to get good at that, because you're essentially following a task, not exactly frame perfectly, but pretty close.
Yeah.
Oh, this evil son.
Yeah, this, believe it or not, the sun's position on the screen doesn't matter, in terms of like your position in the level. It always stays in a fixed spot. So you can pretty much you can just do the exact same jumps every time in that stage. And you'll see she opted to go down to 2.5 there. And that's because recognizing that bottom hammer bro has a hammer, she's able to tell that because it faced left after moving. So pay close attention when that bottom hammer bro moves. It'll look left first. And that's how you can tell the difference between the music box and the hammer here. See that? It was left. And get the hammer.
Looks like the box bro's in a decent spot to be avoided here, so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, ideally you don't want the music box. It's just an extra hammer bro you don't need. You can use it if you get it, though. It's not the worst thing in the world, but it is a little slower than skipping it.
Exactly how optimized has like this route become? Because I know like with, of course, any sort of classic NES game like this, that there's a huge community behind them. And so how like optimized do you think that this run has become, or like this game in general?
I think the execution is like quite optimized, but the RNG is always like the question mark hanging out there. There's technically a lot of time that you can save still from RNG. It's just less and less likely.
I totally see what you're saying.
Yeah, it's basically just like skipping more Hammer Bros. That's one way, I guess.
Yeah. And in Warpless, there's the hands you have to deal with. You know, there's 3 of them. If you get grabbed in, you lose 20 seconds roughly each on each one. So preferably you'd want to get none, which is a 1 in 8 chance that you have to hope for on every run, which is pretty grim. But you know, we still run this category anyway, so I guess it's all good.
Yeah, and it's weird too because like obviously there's RNG code in the game, and it kind of does this repeating cycle, and so sometimes you're crossing the hands at a time where it's very unlikely to get no hands as well.
Yeah.
So fun times.
Yeah, RNG within RNG, gotta love it.
Yep. Yeah, I'm gonna say I think in the world record you didn't get like boxless, right? So like you can technically get boxless still, and then you could get Task World 3 and skip another Hammer Bro there, but both of these things are incredibly unlikely. And that's before we consider like, I don't know if people have been noticing, but the Hammer Bros move at the end of each stage as well. And for each time they move, it's about half a second loss. So you can always, based on every run, reduce the amount of times the Hammer Bros move as well. But they can do a lot of different things. So very unlikely outcomes.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how much RNG really factored into this run. It's because when you look at it like into an untrained eye, it's like mostly execution, which I think it still is, but still.
It still is, yeah. I mean, you know, I think there's still a pretty big gap between like the very top runners of the game currently and then the next tier. But, you know, it seems to be decreasing over time. Like it seems like there's more and more top runners as time progresses. So, but yeah, she did go for a P-Speed strat here in 3-2. It is a kind of a tough one. Unfortunately, didn't get it. Good news is the Cheeps didn't jump through her, so she did get to keep her fire. As I said, very important this run to keep the Fire Flower, and especially so here because she wants to keep this for the Fortress again. So saving time on the boom is good.
Gonna have to also watch out for that Hammer Bro that's all the way on the right, because he can run away before you get to him, and if he does, you lose a massive amount of time. Which is,
that's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah,
do you know how much it is roughly that you lose if he like stays away on the screen?
If you skip both of them, well, it depends. If you can skip both Hammer Bros, you lose about 5-ish seconds. It does, like you said, depend a little bit on how they move.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you fight one and then it runs away, it largely depends on what it does afterwards, because it can come back and run in front of you, and you're just kind of stuck in this cycle of taking deaths to try to get out of the way.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
I'm not that well versed because in all of my runs I just reset if he runs away, so I don't really know what to do if he does.
Yeah, because you have to, because you need this hammer. Yeah. Okay, we're good. We're good,
yeah,
so it won't matter, which is important. I don't know if people notice, but 3-3 did have a boss bass in it. You don't really see it except for like the start of the level, because people get B-speed really quickly, and speed past it, but it's a little more dangerous than the level we're about to see once she clouds over 3-6. So 3-6 is an auto-scroller stage that you just don't want to play, right? Because they're over a minute long. So she'll use her first cloud there, but then 3-8 has a boss bass in it, and if the boss bass eats you, it does instantly kill you. So it is quite a time loss if it happens. So
Hopefully
a
won't
little
see
spooky. Yeah, a little spooky, you know. Just
A wee bit.
that. Little.
a little nervous pointing it out, but yeah, she's good. You know, got all of her up inputs that allowed her to jump out of the water, so that was good. And ooh, first frame jump out of the pipe as well. If you can jump midair out of those pipes if you press A on the first frame possible out of them. So
Yeah, you save a couple frames. Huge.
massive. It actually can be massive, right? If it gives you better RNG. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
and
could
I
be
mean,
like
in games like these, you know, with how optimized they've become, every frame counts, really.
yeah. Yeah, got a nice H jump there, able to maintain P speed. She's kept her fire all the way through World 3, which is excellent as well. Very important because she will want to fire kill Koopaling on the airship, which is, she's a little infamous in that, I think for, you know, inexperienced players of the game or us as kids, she's really tricky because she shoots rings with her wand and the rings stay in the arena until you're able to defeat her. So the nice thing is with fire, you never have to stomp on her, so she doesn't ever have to generate the rings. So it's a much safer boss battle for that reason. But there is actually an aggressive strat where you stomp her about in the middle of the screen. So it's marginally more risky, I guess, but it's not really.
This is like the one boss where it's easier to just fire killer instead of stomping.
Yeah. At least in this category.
Yeah.
It's like 100% Roy. It's probably even easier just because he kind of a dope. Just runs into the platform to
just stands
shoot
there.
him.
Do you mind if I read out an announcement here while we're doing
Yeah, go
this
ahead.
auto scroller? Of course. I just wanted to let everyone know if you're looking to get more involved with the GDQ community, you can join the official Games Done Quick Discord and add the hotfix role to stay in the loop on upcoming events, chat with staff, and of course keep up to date with shows such as these. And you can use !Discord in Twitch chat for an invite and more info. And if you want to catch up on previous hotfix shows, special events, or GDQ marathons, you can do so over on youtube.com/gamesdonequick. If you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and turn on notifications. They really do help visibility towards all of these hotfix shows and help folks really get to know content that they might not have otherwise. And of course, I just want to let you know that registration for AGDQ Awesome Games Done Quick 2026 is currently open. It is open throughout the event and will also be open on-site registration. But if you want to get early registration at the cheapest price, that is open until December 1st. So please visit gdq.gg, our main website, for more info on that to register if you plan on going to AGDQ 2026. I know I will, and I would love to see you there. Back
Awesome.
to the run.
Yeah, 4-1 there. Really cool P speed in that stage. It's kind of one of the few stages in the run where you've got to move in a particular way to build P speed early. So in a way, you're kind of manipulating P speed. It's not really a P speed manipulation. There's like more complex ones, but you do have to be really good at understanding how to move in Mario 3 to build that P speed. And that's one of them. That's a good example of that. The other one was 3-2, which unfortunately she didn't get. But yeah, I think those are kind of like the main two that we've seen so far anyway. Oh, she did get the Fort P speed in World 2, which is kind of a very similar concept, actually.
Yeah.
4-3, everybody loves this stage because it looks very cool. This looks exceptionally difficult, but it's actually much easier than it looks once you, of course, know where to jump. That is always the key. In Mario 3 is knowing where to jump and kind of like knowing what sort of jumps you're going to get just based on feel as well, because you're doing a lot of blind jumps in this game, if you haven't noticed.
Alice's movement is insanely impressive. It really is.
Yeah, for sure. She's doing quite well. So yeah, building P-Speed up top there is kind of tricky because you have to land really early on that platform to build it and grind the entire thing. And she gets the nice super swim there, which isn't super hard to execute, but you see people kind of make that mistake there. So
you got to be careful at the end there, because even if you slow down slightly, that spiny can hit you very easily.
Yeah, sniper.
Yeah.
So I think this is the cloud, so it's kind of bad RNG, but it's gonna be okay.
Yeah, the bros can be pretty annoying here because it's really easy to get an extra.
Yeah, that. I think she's actually fine, right? Yeah, she should be fine.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, he can only go left or down after the fort.
Yeah. Just gonna give maybe a couple extra movements, but that's totally fine. So yeah, it feels really bad when you waste your music box here.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's extremely common in this world.
Yeah, especially when you have early hammer. So.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a good P-Speed build at the beginning of the fort. Again, this is another one of those levels, like I mentioned, like 4-1, where just, knowing where you have to land on platforms, where you jump off of platforms, the size of your jump, able to build that P meter and do things like freeze arrows and things like that. So a good P meter build there.
The bro went down movement of 2, which is actually not as good here because the fire kill pattern's a lot harder. Here, and you might also be wondering how she's skipped fighting the bro if the bro was right in front of her, but the screen scrolled right there. So if you're buffering a direction and you're in a spot where the bro is, and the screen's scrolling, if you buffer a direction out of it, you don't fight them, you just skip over them, which is really neat, especially in that spot.
I am disappointed in her coin count decision, but I respect it.
Yep.
Missed opportunity. There is a thing with coins and score that does exist in the game, though. So if you look at her tens digit of her score, it is a 90. So if she had 99 coins, so a multiple of 11 that matches, whatever that tens digit is on the points, you can actually spawn coin chips or convert the Hammer Bros into coin chips at the end of stages in certain worlds, and those worlds are actually 1, 3, 5, and 6. So we do have World 5 coming up, and it is an actual concern because a coin chip is an auto scroller and it's quite slow. So,
yeah.
That's a thing she's definitely paying attention. Oh, what's that?
I was going to say that's just a specific way of managing that. Like your coin count has to be a multiple 11, then also match the 10s digit of your score.
It's weird. It seems like very unlikely that it would happen, but it's surprising how often it does happen if you don't pay attention to it in a speedrun, unfortunately. And I think she was just taking a little safe there. She might not have honestly remembered this pattern because you do have to execute a little differently, like I was saying.
And he jumps up earlier, which is pretty scary.
Yep. Yeah, I came up with a strat for it where normally you run forward and kind of jump towards them, where I just hang back and don't run forward at all, and it gives you extra clearance to jump stomp him.
Yeah.
All right, but on to World 5. So Sky World, you're going to see in terms of level design, the levels are going to get a lot more dangerous now in the second half of the game, and particularly once we get to the sky. There is technically a small P-speed strat here can get it like right at the end here, right at this part. You can get it there as well. It's kind of like the standard one, but there's one where you get a little earlier and can save about, I don't know, it's like 2/3 of a second roughly.
Yeah, it's like 20 frames.
Yep. It's not super big, but you see people go for it. There's also another strat in that stage where you can P-wing up and grab the music box up in the it's the secret item 5-1. That's the kind of the more standard route for the world record attempts now, because they're trying to skip as many bros as possible, so that allows you to actually skip these 2 bros as well here. But she's gonna looks like she's gonna fight both of them probably. So
Yeah, they're not in a very good spot here.
yeah, kind of a dangerous spot there at the beginning of that stage. That a big pit of ragu that she avoided. Very nice. All right, all the way in. Again, keeping Fire Flower through the run, very important for the boss fights. Also really important for the bro fights themselves. It does save a bit of time in the hammer bro fights as well. So you're able to kill them a little quicker.
There's still a chance.
Pause. Is this the one?
We'll see if she gets scammed here. It'll be very, very good if he goes up. Oh, wow. Let's go. The bro actually cooperated. No way.
Yeah, you never honestly. This is like the old route. I'm just shocked seeing it because I swear, like, this almost never happens.
Yeah.
You always fight an extra bro either in World 4 or 5, so very nice. She will ultimately end up fighting the bro in the sky as well, because it has a music box, which she needs to skip a plant stage in World 7, which is a bit slower than Hammer Bro. And yeah, you can kind of tell when I said level's a little more dangerous. I mean, can you tell?
Yeah, I can tell very clearly, actually. I wonder what changed.
Yeah, a lot more pits. The next level isn't all that dangerous as long as you keep moving, but it is the entire level is donut platforms, and these will fall if you stand on them for a certain amount of time.
No.
So
nice P-speed. The P-speed build at the beginning there is pretty difficult to get consistently because you're in such a tight spot, and the P-speed arrows in this game in tight spots don't cooperate very well.
yeah, you can see she kind of did like a turn back to avoid the pillar.
Yeah,
that's intentional, and same thing there. Yeah, very nice P-speed. Very, very good. Yeah, and keeping the fire, like I said, it also like makes that 5-5 P-speed much easier, and it makes the 5-7 one possible, really. You can technically equip a star and get it as well, but it's not really what she wants to do here with this route. And fortress here, so key to this fortress, if you've ever played it casually, just keep running right regardless. Like, you don't need P-speed, but as long as you keep running right, you'll skip over these potaboos. But as soon as you stop in this stage, it gets much scarier, honestly.
Yeah. It's one of those rare stages where speedrunning's better for it.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, you can see with the platforms in it, pretty dangerous too. Easy to miss one, unfortunately. So, and keeping with the theme, just more holes again.
Yeah, the stage is really easy, but deceptively so. It's very scary, but it's one of the easier stages in the run.
Yeah, I don't think it's that hard to execute, but if you mess up, you tend to die in it. So.
Yeah, like you jump before you land, which can happen sometimes. You just fall down and die.
Yep. And she remembered to cloud 5-9. That's important. 5-9 is an auto scroller. You do not want to play those. We don't have to. We have to play the airships, unfortunately, but don't want to play any of the other ones that we don't have to. Right? Fortunately, World 8 exists and forces you to play some. But...
Oh.
Yeah, it seemed like she actually got a good movement there, so could potentially go for the boss kill here. Some people opt not to go for it because this boss does have it's a quake mechanic where if the boss jumps and lands on the ground and you're touching the ground, you get stunned for a set amount of time afterwards.
Yep.
So it can be very bad if you just get stun locked.
Yeah, a lot of runners also they either stomp the boss because of the mechanic, or they delay the fence post at the end to get the easier pattern at the end as well, where he just stands there. We mentioned that earlier, I think, about Hundo.
Yeah.
Hundo Fighters,
yeah. And sure enough, here it is. Yeah, that's the.
Yep.
Yeah, she did manipulate it. So yeah, as you can see, he just kind of runs in the platform and just eats 10 fireballs. So
yeah, since the patterns dictated from when you exit the stage to when you exit to when you enter the castle, you can delay the pattern at the end by the exit, like delaying the end. And luckily there's fences on the right, so you can see how much you delayed by. That's why I mentioned fence post earlier.
yeah, it's just
handy.
like a visual cue of when to enter. And there's some variance in terms of like how you menu, but like it's not enough to matter usually, assuming your menuing's like good.
Yeah.
How's Alice's pace doing right now, you think?
She's got to be on 51 pace, so
Yeah,
she hasn't
no
made
major
any
mistakes
errors.
or deaths, so yes, pretty solid run so far. Sure.
Yeah, which 51 is a very good time, so especially in a no reset setting. Yeah, being that all the RNG is cooperated as well. So yeah, you saw her, she actually was able to get a star kill on that boom boom and convert it to the orb. Basically, the way the star band works is it overflows the boom boom's HP. The boom booms work really weird in this game in that they get converted to an item after they die. But if you overflow like the damage on them like that, they'll actually just instantly convert to the orb, like what happened in that stage, so it saves a bit of time.
Oh no.
As well. Oh shit, of course. Oh, that's good though. That's the cloud.
Yeah. I think no matter where he goes here, she'll avoid him in the situation.
Yeah. Yeah, so unfortunately the bros came together and it was bad, but she did get the hammer bro she wanted to have the cloud. She does want to skip the other one, which will allow her to do so. In a way, I guess it kind of broke even with fighting the star, maybe saved a little bit of time.
Yeah, time lost to save time is kind of a classic in this game.
Yep. So yeah, pretty good. As you can see, that's one of those stages where you want to have the leaf in order to exit. You can technically clip, and that there's a bonus room that you can clip through, but it's slower than using the leaf there or the P-wing, and then want to keep the leaf for this stage because flying through it's technically not faster than the task can do it with fire, but you know, reasonably anyway. In terms of reasonable strats, it's the fastest one.
That was very nice. It was a very nice level.
Yeah. I think she's got all the P-wings she needs as well. So we'll be P-winging 6-9. So you tend to have options at the end of this world, whether you wall jump in 6-9, or you play 6-10, get fire. But when you have an extra P-Wing, it's usually best to use it in 6-9 and just fly over instead of wall jump. So let's save a little bit of time. Oh, she's okay. Never mind. Oh, I bet she's gonna use it on 7-9. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh, okay. Managed fine.
Yeah, it's totally fine as long as she doesn't get hit or miss an A-press. Okay.
Yeah, this stage is very tough to do optimally for grabbing the flyer flower here.
Yo. You kind of got to do this like seesaw motion to keep your P speed and stay in the air. There's this weird thing in Mario 3 where it's like as long as you're in the air and the P meter's going, like the game will just allow you to keep it. But yeah, it gets the fire back, so it's gonna be able to fire kill the boom here, fire kill the boss at the end of the world if she chooses.
Yeah, I guess that's the beauty of route differences. If you play 6-9 first, the stage itself is shorter, so you save time overall, like a second maybe. But you do have to stomp the boss and then also stomp the final boss in the world as well, like stomp the boom boom and then the boss.
Yep.
But yeah, if you play 6-10 first, it's a longer stage, but you gain back time by killing both the boom boom and the boss.
Yeah, it's slightly more time loss overall to do fire, but it's not a huge difference.
Yep.
It does assume you do everything optimally, of course, but I believe she's saving her extra P-Wing to P-Wing 7-9. So technically, especially if she gets like the mid-clip, it'll make that level quite fast, so she'll probably have time.
Yep.
Versus clipping it. Because the clips never work, so. Right. Yeah, the level after this stage, 7-1, which is one where you clip in the doorway, so likely gonna see some sort of sub-pixel manipulation here as well. Oh, okay, just be careful. Oh no.
Oh no.
That's a disaster. That's a disaster. Okay.
Oh no. No.
Oh no.
Alright, that's a real disaster. Okay, she doesn't have to play anything. Well,
Yeah. Oh no,
throw,
it's gonna oh wait. Okay. Yeah, that is not great there. That boss, if you mess up, he throws balls all over the screen, so it's it can be really chaotic if you don't finish him off quickly.
Oh, and I forgot you have to redo the airship. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That is unfortunate.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate, but that's okay. It happens.
That is okay.
Did she mean to use the P-Wing here?
Yeah, it's one of those things where, like, I don't know when does this ever happen, but she didn't really have to.
Yeah.
Is it faster to use a P-Wing?
It is not. I don't.
Nah.
Can you fly over this too? Oh, you can. Okay.
Wow. Learning new things.
Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah. I know you technically can fly over it, but I didn't know if the screen in the vanilla game actually extended far enough, but apparently it does.
Yeah.
I mean, this will make the boss fight, pretty trivial, I guess. Just fly with it.
Yeah.
I think she's gonna intentionally take some damage.
Yeah, make it a bit easier. Yeah, okay. In a minute, sub-pixels hit. Okay, I saw the scooch there. That might be a good setup.
Yeah.
I think she does the pipe rub, the sub-pixels 0 to 3 pipe rub. But yeah, this jump coming up is frame perfect, so see if she hits it.
To explain subpixels, okay. So, you know how you can see Mario's position on the screen?
Yes.
It's not Mario's real position, okay?
Interesting.
There's position within position that you cannot see. And these are called subpixels, and there are 16 of them on the x-axis. And so you can technically move without visually moving, if that makes sense.
Wow, look at that.
And so
very good.
yeah, that's how we can manipulate the subpixels, because you can figure out, like, if you tap really lightly, you can get Mario to move like barely to the right or barely to the left, and then you
That
can
was
either,
extremely clean.
you know, so you have high or low subpixels. So yeah, weird.
It's pretty essential that you manip for it too, because manipless, that clip can take a very long time to work, even if you do a perfect jump.
Yeah, that's how we always used to do it, and it was terrible.
Yeah.
7-1 claimed a lot of good runs.
Yeah, the speedruns become a much more approachable in modern age, because it wasn't too long ago when you didn't know which bros were which, and yeah, no manips for clips.
Yep.
A real nightmare.
Yeah, and then on top of it, you know, even once you figure out which bro was which, subpixels weren't really a thing yet, so you were still like trying to skip all these bros, then you get the 7-1 and it takes 20 tries, and you want to throw your Nintendo.
Yep.
All right, hopefully she uses the cloud here.
Yeah, it'll be very unfortunate to accidentally enter this stage.
Okay, good. Okay. Yeah, that stage is notoriously bad, so just be glad we're not seeing it, I guess. But in a way, for the viewers, it's fun. So I guess be sad.
Yeah.
I'll trust your judgment.
I personally am glad we're not seeing it, but I think viewers do enjoy it, and I can understand why.
Yeah. This fish, all types of fish, the whole ocean of fish just coming at you the entire stage.
And you know, the stage moving at like seconds per frame instead of frames per second. As well. But yeah, you can kind of blink and miss that island because it's the item abuse island. You pretty much just wing those two stages and skip them entirely.
Yes, as well, your accumulated items get used.
Yeah. Yeah, there's like an intended method of beating that fortress, and there's a Tanuki suit in it, but the P-Wing is much, much faster. Okay, didn't get the triple flower. It's good.
Yeah, there's 2 routes at the end of this world. Alice does the fire route. They're not too different. They're not too different in time, like overall, but I guess it's just preference if you use fire or hammer. Depends on the runner.
Yeah, for sure. Plus, if you're, you know, clipping 7-9, definitely want to use hammer.
The damage boost there.
Yeah, that was definitely intentional. There are 2 power-up opportunities on the airship, so she'll be able to get fire back.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you're Big Mario entering that stage, it's better damage boost at the end there, because otherwise you have to wait, stomp the dry bone, and then wait a bit. And like I said, there's 2 power-up grabs there, so it doesn't really matter all too much.
Yo. Yeah, I think she did the routing of that island on the fly as well, because like I said earlier, I think she intended to play the stage she clouded, but being that she didn't have the extra P-Wing, she didn't play it.
Yep. And yeah, this is the longest auto scroller in the game, so have fun watching.
At at least it moves at the correct speed, unlike the World 4 airship. So
Yeah.
it's actually just a long stage.
Yeah, you'd think the World 4 airship's longer, but yeah, this one is.
Yeah, this one is longer for sure. And it's weird if World 4 moved at normal speed, I think it might actually be even faster than World 1 slightly. It's about the same amount of time. Yeah, as mentioned, she did get the fire back. I think there's technically a way to manipulate a fire kill from here, but I have no idea how it's done. Louis would have to pull out the spreadsheet.
I think it's pretty scuffed if you're going from small to fire here.
Yeah.
While we're
Like
here
you
in
said,
this
there's-
section, you mind if I read out another announcement here real quick?
Yeah, absolutely. But
Yeah, of course. If you're curious as to what's coming up on Hotfix, check out this week's schedule and explore our full season lineup at gdq.gg/hotfix. Throughout this week, you're going to be seeing a lot of amazing shows, including random number generation tomorrow, as well as Game Masters, Out of the Box, Creature Corner on Wednesday, Do All the Things in Parallel Universe on Friday, and of course, with our show, Make Your Own Victory, that's going to happen once on the first Saturday of every month. That's going to be this Saturday as well. We have a wonderful lineup of shows for you this week, so if you want to catch up on any of those, do gdq.gg/hotfix or check out the VODs of those shows on our YouTube. And so please make sure you check those out. And of course, I also want to mention one final time tonight that submissions are open for the Disability and Neurodivergence special that we're going to have later this month on GDQ Hotfix. We are hosting our very first Disability and Neurodivergence special on November 29th and 30th. The event will celebrate speedrunners who identify as disabled or neurodivergent in any way that is meaningful to them. And if you'd like to apply to run, applications are now open through November 9th. That is this weekend. That's when they close. Type !DND in the chat for the link to apply. That is all. Back to the run.
yeah, back to more auto scrollers. Don't worry, we got this one and we got another one coming right up. So yeah, they really packed them in at the end of the game. It is kind of like the final test of the game, because if you're playing really well and you're in rhythm, then you just basically don't get to play for 5+ minutes.
Yeah, the devs purposely put this here so that speedrunners' hands go cold before they reach the stages.
Just to
Sure
punish
seems
you
like it.
for breaking the game throughout the entirety of the run.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the real answer is, like, in casual play, you know, people find these stages really challenging because you're not going to know exactly what's coming next, right? But obviously she's done the stage a lot, so she knows exactly what's next. And you can just kind of play it the exact same way every time.
Yep.
There is an enemy at the end of this stage, and there is a little bit of RNG associated with it as well, so we're hoping for it to move forward here, actually, and not throw a boomerang. And it moved backwards, which is, I mean, second best, I guess.
Second best, yep.
Yeah.
You either get best or second best, you know?
Yeah, you're able to take it out before it throws the boomerang, and it saves a couple seconds. As you can see, like, the chest didn't spawn there until the boomerang cleared the screen. So, and yeah, we move on to the Navy, which, you know, nice chocolate milk water there. Definitely a fan favorite.
Is that not water? Is that not what water looks like normally?
I don't think so. I mean, if it does, you're probably next to, like, a nuclear power plant or something, I guess.
I mean, if you live in the sewers, I mean...
Maybe. Just maybe.
Yeah, not not great, but you can actually swim under the ships here. I'm sure many people recall seeing someone do that or did them themselves as a child, but I definitely did. Because not being very coordinated as a child, this was a very hard stage, okay? Very important jump there. Nice little troll at the end with the bombs, and yeah, we get a boom boom. Okay,
and here we go into the best part of the run.
Yeah, the old, do we get the 1 and 8? Or do we get the bad 1 and 8? Something in between.
Oh, let's go. That's the best possible RNG there, yeah. The 1 and 8. Won the lottery.
Yeah, so each of those hands has a 50-50 chance to pull you in, and there's 3 of them in the middle there, and she just didn't get pulled in by any one of them. So, nice. About, I don't know, it's like a minute.
Yep, minute saved over the worst RNG.
Yep.
Amazing RNG then.
Yep.
Yeah, this run's actually had a good RNG.
This is an auto scroller, except it's slightly faster. I can see the screen moving at a pretty rapid pace here.
Yeah, it's twice as fast actually. So unlike the World 4 airship, which moves at half speed, this moves at double time. And it's weird because it makes your fireballs fire a little differently too. They're more straight down than they are in other stages. Very odd.
Even the devs are just like, I'm getting tired of these auto scrollers. Just speed this last one up.
Yeah. Don't worry, they added one more. There's one more, but getting there. All right, gonna equip the star here in 8-1. As a completely naked inventory, it's what you like to see at the end of a warpless run. Well, there's a whistle tech.
Yeah, you don't want to use that though. Don't want to use that.
It's a one-way to get back to the beginning of the world.
But yeah, like Haxel was saying before, the auto scrollers rust you up, and then yeah, the World 8 stages are pretty execution heavy as well, so very easy to mess up, very scary.
This one's pretty chill to fire. I mean, it's not easy to keep the P speed like that, but it's not very dangerous. Like the hammer suit, going over those notes is definitely a little more dangerous because you have to maintain like not too fast, but also not too slow speed.
Yeah.
All right, and from this point, she's going to want to keep the fire because there's not another opportunity to have this, and want to have either a fire suit or a hammer suit for Bowser because it does save a pretty significant amount of time on that fight. So,
yeah.
I'm going to be holding my breath throughout this level, that's for sure.
All right, very nice.
It all right,
yeah. Looking good.
Yeah, you can easily lose a lot of time in this level because there's the P switch you hit earlier. You want to make it to that door in time, and if you don't, you got to hit a spare P switch that's hidden in one of those blocks. And yeah, you got to just sit there and wait for the spikes to start moving, like the conveyor to start moving. It's very fun.
Yeah, I think it's like you lose about a dozen seconds if that happens.
Yeah, like 20 seconds or 15, like 15 to 20 seconds, I'd estimate.
Yeah. It's worth doing if you don't have Fire Flower because there's technically one in the door, so it would save a little bit of time if you have to do it, but it's not ideal.
The tried and true holding right and spamming fireballs.
Yes, yeah. Makes this auto-scroller very easy when you have Fire Suit for that reason.
Yeah.
You can pretty much just hold right this entire thing, as long as you know what's coming up next. Which she does. So yeah, this, as you can see, you know, if you're not holding right, the stage is definitely much trickier because you got cannonballs flying everywhere, but if you hold right, you just get to skip them.
The last boom boom of the run. I think we've killed quite many of them throughout the run. I'm not
Yeah, I was about to say, like, if you look at an egregious number of boom booms, is this the same boom boom?
It just keeps coming back.
That's a good question. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question. All right, Bowser's Castle here. There's a one-up clip here, the everyman's clip. They say anybody can do it. Just hold duck.
Yeah, very easy. This can be very tricky. Oh, fortunately, jumps a little too low. Just gonna have to do the rest without P speed.
Yeah, which is totally fine.
All right.
Got the old Haxer statue there. All right. Then 35 fireballs is all it takes to take out Bowser here. She did get an early jump, so
Only 35?
Scary. Only 35.
Nice backup.
Yeah, nicely done. So time here on the run is when she enters the door, which will open after the remaining 352 in-game seconds have run off the timer there. And time. So yeah, pretty good run. I'm gonna guess, was it 53, maybe 54?
That was a 53-54.
Oh,
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking, just based on what I saw. I was like, I think this is probably a 53 still. So yeah, because the auto scroll she took the death in is only about 90 seconds long. So
Yeah, that was a really good run. She played really well.
Yeah.
yeah,
Solid.
yeah, very very good run. You know, she probably wants the World 6 airship back, but there really wasn't much else to complain about. I'd say excellent RNG.
Is there anything that y'all want to shout out before we head out for the night? Where can the people find you?
The Haxer on most things. So on Twitch, I guess there's an underscore in my X name, but usually that's my name most places. We do have a 100% tournament going on at the moment for this game, by the way. So if you are interested in that, and both Alice and Kudo are actually still participants in it. So very cool. They'll be racing in that. So if you like, Mario 3, you definitely are encouraged to tune in their streams, tune into those tournament races as well.
All right, and you, Kudo? Anything you want to shout out?
I'm just Kudo 1K on most platforms. Exactly that. Like Hexer said, there's a Hundo tournament currently going on. We're reaching the finals. There's still the lower bracket to go through, but yeah, most matches now should be pretty interesting. So if you want to catch more SMB3, that's where you'll find it.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you so much for that amazing run. If y'all want to follow more of Alice, her Twitch is AliceHKH, as it is written on screen. This is an absolutely amazing run. She does a lot of course, SMB3 content, more 100% on her channel as the tournament is going on. But please go follow her and go follow these amazing commentators as well. We are done for the night here with the Scenic Route, folks. I hope you all have enjoyed this amazing episode of 2D platformers. We had Mega Man X, we had Super Fancy Pants Adventure, we had Super Mario Bros, and we had Super Mario Bros. 3, all with extremely talented runners. And so I cannot thank y'all enough for tuning into this wonderful episode. I cannot thank the runners enough for being here. If you missed out on either Perilous Paths or the Scenic Route tonight, if you're just tuning in, there will be a replay of both of those shows right after the break here. So please stay tuned for that if you'd like to watch that as well. And we will be back here tomorrow at 7 p.m. for another night of hotfix content with RNG, or Random Number Generation, by Skybills, and of course Game Masters by Kiara. So please stay tuned for those shows tomorrow, and for, of course, the rest of the content that you're going to be seeing throughout Hotfix this week. Please tune in 2 weeks from today for another episode of the Scenic Route. Our next theme will be shooters. We're gonna have a wonderful lineup for y'all, so please stay tuned for that. If you love shooters, if you love Crosshair as well, we're gonna have a wonderful show that night. So that being said, I hope you'll have a wonderful rest of your night. Please get some rest and come back tomorrow at 7 p.m. for more GDQ Hotfix. We'll see you around.